what has PYTH done right? What have you guys done right in terms of collaborations and partnerships? And what is some stuff that your community members are excited about you guys are doing?
I'm not a financial advisor.
I want to kind of move to the retail side of this and what retail investors are excited about. What gets them excited? One thing that gets them excited and one thing that gets them a little nervous. The thing that gets them excited, of course, is marketing. Collaborations, partnerships, progress, milestones, roadmaps. That's the kind of stuff that gets people excited. And then we're going to move on to something that makes people nervous in a little bit. We'll talk about the regulatory environment. But what has PYTH done right? What have you guys done right in terms of collaborations and partnerships? And what is some stuff that your community members are excited about you guys are doing?
Yeah, when you think about like institutional adoption, I don't think there is a project that kind of even comes close to PYTH in terms of real institutional usage on a daily basis. You know, these are household within the trading world names, but the largest trading firms in the world, they're submitting data every day, exchanges that didn't know anything about crypto prior to doing this. And so that's like real world, actual daily usage adoption. So that's probably the thing that people are most excited about. In terms of the usage on chain, I think people are excited about this. So I think you described it really well. PYTH is a piece of infrastructure. It's like an NVIDIA where it just gets better all the time. And then there are applications and like computers that are built on top of it. And so our users, these 450 of them, those are applications. And so people can go out and use the synthetics. And you know that's only been enabled by something like PYTH or PYTH in this case. So the things that we've recently rolled out that I think have been the most exciting in the community is called Oracle Integrity Staking. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, trust is paramount, right? So this is really what we're here for. We're here to make sure that blockchains continue to be safe, that crypto isn't risky or is less risky, so that the data that's brought into the state is trustworthy. And so we've done this by having over 100 publishers. We do all kinds of smart and publicly available ways to cryptography combine that together. We've got these confidence intervals. But then when we rolled out OIS, which is Oracle Integrity Staking, we now allow publishers and delegators to stake on behalf of the accuracy of the Oracle. And of course, they're able to, if they participate, earn rewards in that. And so now they can earn up to 10% yields in PYTH tokens by staking to the program. But what's cool about this is it makes the entire system more accurate. In the event of a mispricing, there's a mechanism similar to a standard proof of stake or delegated proof of stake system where the publishers will be slashed, and that slash can be used to distribute it out as the DAO sees fit. This is a paradigm shift for the Oracle risk problem, something we've never seen practiced or tried in production on a large scale. It's always been hypothesized. And what it means is that not only a handful, but every single price feed that PYTH has produced is now covered by this staking. And so, you know, this has really kind of led to a further growth in adoption.
Yeah, that's all. People love staking. You know, people love free money. They love passive income. They love free money. And, you know, I think when you're getting accurate price data, you know, that can be free money sometimes too. Now, as far as just the changing landscape and, you know, the regulatory environment has changed so much over the last couple of years. I remember back in 2020, I believed that crypto was going to be a topic in the election, and it wasn't. Nobody cared at all. They didn't even say it. And it didn't mention Bitcoin, didn't mention crypto. And then, of course, you know, I got to do an interview with Donald Trump Jr. on his show and last year, and I got to talk to him about, man, you got to get your dad in crypto. You got to get him on Bitcoin. It's going to be good, you know, because the independent voter in crypto is very important because it's a lot of people that think for themselves and they don't just do right or left. And I knew that was going to be such a good crossover. We'll see how it all works out. But I think that when it comes to the regulatory environment overall right now, I think we're in a really good position in crypto. How are things that are happening in the regulatory landscape affecting you guys at PYTH Network?
Well, I think the biggest thing that affects us from not only PYTH, but an industry is it really stifles a lot of the growth from innovation out of the US. So as I mentioned, you know, you can think of PYTH as being like an NVIDIA that powers other applications or pieces of software, but the people are just very scared of building that software. And so I think that we've seen too many people sidelined. So if we're at 450 applications today, you know, and there's about, I think, $7 or $8 billion that's been secured by PYTH, those numbers could be significantly higher. And it's artificially kept low given the uncertainty around the regulatory environment. Like one analogy that I like to think of that makes sense is when the internet bubble, or actually the internet growth wave happened, Every taxi company in the world wanted to be classified as a multi-state taxi company. Uber was the only one that was able to pull it off because they were classified as a technology company.
Wow.
It was the best thing that could ever happen to, people that want to use taxis, right? It was a huge, undeniable unlock for the world. But if the regulator says, no, 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 you can't operate over state lines, it's dead in the water. And I think there have been, up until about this year, there have been significant breakdowns in trust from people being able to experiment and try things that are going to, be kind of those step changes. I do agree with you, though, that it feels like the landscape has now changed. And I think that Donald Trump, by leaning into being a pro-crypto candidate, has pushed the Democrats to loosen their stance on it. And so it does feel like we're getting into a position where things can really explode. And, this is one of those things where, if done well, the US will certainly be the market leader like it was on the internet. And all it needs to do is allow a little bit of innovation to happen.
Yeah. The stifling of the innovation has been something for years that has driven me crazy. And you've seen other places, like I think Russia did this at one time. I think South Korea did it at one time, where they create zones. They created zones where these crypto companies could come in and they could operate the way they wanted to operate, a sandbox environment, basically. And I think that's really cool. But when it comes to, I want to talk just kind of like talking about the future of where all this is going with oracles, because right now we're talking about trading and we're talking about, I know there's like talk about weather data feeds and stuff. What do you think when it comes to like what PYTH is going to be 50 years down the road? What do you think are some things that people maybe haven't even thought of that technology like this might allow us to do, whether in financial or other kinds of markets or anywhere, that people haven't even really thought of yet?
Yeah. I think the sci-fi version of where we get to with crypto is a world where we've ported on every sort of centralized exchange function or finance function into crypto rails. And I think that once we've done that, the biggest unlocks will actually be probably along the asset management side. There'll certainly be feature competition on active trading. So, right now, I think of finance in like active trading and passive trading. And I also think about, the emergence of blockchains being similar to what happened to publishing on the internet. No one had predicted that there would be all this feature competition around publishing, either on a limitation of characters or like a Snapchat, a limitation on a video. I think that's what we're going to start to see, is there's going to be versions of those types of applications that are sort of cousins to what exists today, but they're not nearly fully developed as they will be. The reason why I think the asset management side is the most broken is, if you ask your average person how they would like to, or if they wanted to invest in a hedge fund or like a VC, where would they begin? And, for the most part of the world, the answer is it's not possible for you. Like you begin by having a Goldman Sachs private bank account, and, they get to place you wherever they want. And that feels like the most broken part of the finance system today. And the fact that there are people, like Roaring Kitty, who have got these huge followings, why can't that look more like an asset management business rather than doing it in this way where it's kind of managed in these chat rooms and sort of they combine their efforts. So to me, that's the most exciting, I think, is to be able to unpack a whole new set of characteristics around, finance.
Yeah, there's just so much we're gonna be able to do. I mean, and just not in finance. I mean, across so many different sectors. And I just know the future is going to be very bright. I believe. I think that there's a lot of things that big struggles in the world, and I think a lot of those things are going to actually get solved due to the advancements of things like data and AI and quantum computing. And the next 50 to 100 years, it's going to look totally different than anything we've seen before, I believe. And I'm super excited about it. Michael Cahill is right here leading that drive to the new technology. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. Is there anything you'd want to leave us with? And then just tell everybody where they can find you at.
No, thanks so much, Ben. It's been great to be on here. You can find me on Twitter, MDOM Cahill, CAHILL. You can find the PYTH network at pyth.network.
Awesome. We'll get those down below in the links for you guys. To the audience, put your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about PYTH Network. That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.